Thank you so much, James. That is that is a terrible thing that I have caused to happen, that I've been muted this whole time. Um, because it's because of the way I've set up my OBS, and I now need to prioritize fixing that so that it's less to think about, that I don't have to unmute my microphone when I switch streams. Let me find a pen because this is a stream improvement stream, and I obviously need a pen to record the most important things that are going wrong. Thank you so much, James, for pointing out that I was muted. So, what I need to do is, um, well, I need to write down most important things to fix, which is, you can hear you now. Thank you, thank you. Um, that mic should be on in visible scene and off in starting scene. And maybe it's time to do that live because um because that's the purpose of this stream. I like the DNGL cards look. I like it too. I like it too. Um let's see. So I'm going to do this. All alerts no. It's the sounds. I put all alerts into starting soon, but I didn't put the microphone, and don't want to put the microphone in everything. I want to put the microphone in a scene where I include that scene and everything else. So I'm currently using my coding scene in OBS because that's my full screen one. And display capture is here. Not display capture, face chroma. Okay. So pretty much if I'm showing my face, that would be a good reason to have a microphone. Face chroma, is that what I always use? Nope, it's not. I sometimes use face cam. Face chroma, which uses face cam. And face cam is, oh, face cam is not a scene. It is a camera. Well, this was an old two-shot Discord video cropped for game. Alerts. Oh, game with ambi, two-shot ambi, facecam two-shot cropped. I don't use this anymore, so remove it. It's very simple and doesn't need to exist. And Discord video, face chroma. But when I do this one, it has Discord video for two-shot cropped for ambi and or somebody for ambi or panda, windows, and then alerts, and what? Where's my picture? Captions, text, Discord video, Discord call. Oh, I just deleted the scene that used to be in here. Whoops. That's okay. So face chroma goes here. Oh, maybe I can undo. Can I undo? Yes. Two shot. Though. What? I think something just went wrong in OBS. Facecam two shot cropped. Two shot. Where's that? Here it is. Okay, so that exists again. This moved the position of this. It's all right. It's all right. Is the blinking light a new Borg edition? Oh, the blinking light. Yes, it is. This is my assimilation device to be entered into the collective. No, this is a it's like a TENS unit for your forehead. It's for prevention of migraines. I think it helps eventually if you use it every day. It's sending electrical pulses into the nerves of my forehead right now, and it's something that I do after I shower, while my skin is still not too oily. And sometimes I put it on stream because it's a conversation piece and I got to get it done anyway. I'm multitasking, but also hope it's helping, friend. Thank you very much, James. You're so nice. Um, but also because this is a somewhat Star Trek related stream, I was like, I think there's absolutely no reason not to put the thing that looks like it's from Star Trek on my face. It'll be done. It's going to maximum intensity right now, and it feels super weird, but I'm used to it, and it'll be done in it'll beep at 14 minutes at maximum intensity, and then um it'll start to fade eventually after 20 minutes. Agreed. Yes, I thought so. This is my Star Trek cosplay. Pretend I'm in sick bay, and Dr. Crusher has applied this to my forehead to treat the nanite infection in my skull. Uh, so I could see it being used in TNG for sure. Yeah, if this existed back then, they'd be like, "Neat, can we just use that and just cover up that little label and have it blink?" um, Except it doesn't work if it's not. It doesn't blink unless it's sending the electrical pulses successfully into the electrode, which is successfully attached to your forehead. Um, like I'm part of the circuit. It detects that it's being used for its intended purpose, and if I'm not present, it won't blink. So it would be a problem as a prop because actually the first few times you use it, it feels terrible, and you have to like ramp up very slowly to get your nerves used to it. Now I can handle it, but it's like it doesn't feel good. It's just a very intense feeling that I've gotten used to. I need to add my microphone to these scenes. Um, but I'm debating whether this is streamable or if I'm just going to screw up the stream while I'm doing it. I think maybe it's hard to stream while editing OBS in this way because I'm probably going to become muted while I do it and confuse myself a lot. So I'm just going to mark that down, high priority item, and go back to working on this design here. Games cupboard. Hey Joe, interested to see how you set up your OBS. You are interested. Okay, well then let's play with OBS a little bit. Since there's some interest. Oh, is this electrode starting to fall off? Feels funny when I don't press it to my forehead. If I hold it, it feels a little more stable. And when I let go, because it's the weight of it making it fall forward, the electrode only has about 15 to 20 uses before it becomes not sticky. And the more it leans forward and has like a gap between the adhesive and my skin, the more intense the feeling is around the parts that are still connected. So if it's not fully attached, it feels worse than if it is fully attached. So I'm wondering if this electrode is starting to go south. Maybe this is the last use of this one. I don't know. Or maybe it's fine. I don't feel a gap with my finger. So I think maybe it's okay. Um, Welcome, friend. James says, welcome to Games Cupboard. That's very nice. Good evening. Still blinking. Yeah, it's still blinking. It's still connected. It's doing its thing. It's just it's reaching an intensity point that is making it impossible not to talk about it. But sure, let's talk about OBS. So my OBS, I have, for the purposes of this stream, this is going to be wacky because you see me as well as the OBS setting for what's happening here. Um, but my on the left is what's not being broadcast, and what on the right is what is being broadcast. But I'm just setting stuff up on the left. Oh, well, those are broken. Well, that's not good. What? What is happening? Why don't I see those? Stream starting soon is a movie file. Is that no longer present? It's 44. WebM 44. Uh, what? Okay, let's transition to starting soon and see what happens. Ah. Okay. So, there's a, it looks to me like a bug. in OBS that it's not doing what it's supposed to do. It's not showing everything in the preview window. It's like it's not running. Oh, maybe it's because this has show nothing when playback ends. Well, it's on loop, but it may also be um, like it doesn't show, it doesn't run the video file when it's not live. Restart playback when source becomes active. Okay, so that's the problem was it wasn't starting it when it wasn't active. All right, so that's the starting soon screen. That's where it's supposed to not have my microphone, but my microphone down here in the audio mixer is like already um it's attached to every scene because it's just global to my OBS. It's always present because it's in my my audio settings here. And what I have to do is remove this, set microphone to nothing, to disabled on the global settings for OBS, and then add my microphone only to the scenes where I want it to be. And what I want to do is not make that be every single scene individually, but pick a scene that is always present when my face is present. Because if you can see me, I want you to hear me. If you cannot see me, I probably don't want you to hear me. So if I go to like game with Ambi, here's one where my face is present, and my face is, which one is my face? Animated background, no, face chroma. So face chroma is one where the microphone should be, that's like a chroma keyed out version of my green screened face. That's a pretty good candidate because that's already a nested scene, NS, nested scene. So if I go to that and I put the microphone in here, that should work. And then it will be, and I can exclude it from other scenes. But I just have to make sure that my other scenes are also using this and that I always put the microphone in exactly one time. So let me look through my scenes. So console, it's just the console, which is basically for playing games by myself, or this is something I can include, a scene that I can include in other scenes. Table 3 cam uses face chroma. Game with Panda uses face chroma. Pretty much anything where I'm cut out is going to be using the face chroma one. So that's most of them, and that makes it seem like that's what it should be. But Two Shot with Ambi is different, and that is, where's the Windows? Oh no, did I lose the Windows one? Oh, this is definitely falling off. It feels much better if I hold it. I may have to hold it on for a while it finishes. Yikes. Hi, Quadrain. How are you? Um, we are doing some OBS fixing up because this is an overlay stream, but it's also just a getting my Twitch set up the way I want it stream. Console face chroma, that uses face chroma. That's for when I'm streaming a console game. Face chroma, table corner uses face chroma. Oh, this is good for a starting point for like a Zoom call, or but I can also make this into a I don't know. I can use this one for like a just chatting kind of thing. Well, I don't have like a frame for that. Game with Ambi is fine for face chroma. It's obviously face chroma is a good place to put the microphone. The exception is Two Shot with Ambi does not use face chroma. It uses face cam Two Shot cropped. Also, it just got broken. It's supposed to have a big window picture of some windows, and I'm not seeing that, and it's disturbing. Face cam Two Shot crop. That's this. This is confusing, but okay. So this, before I did something to mess it up, this was showing us in me and Ambi in like some old-fashioned windows. Good evening, Quadrain, says Games Cupboard. Quadrain said, I know I saw the tweet, so I'm excited to see how others do all this, being quite new to this. Yeah, so this is, I need to try to fix this because in the middle of doing something, I um, seem to have broken my thing that has a picture of some windows. Is this not blinking anymore? It's not blinking anymore. It has stopped, but it didn't beep. Huh. And it didn't make the out of battery noise either. So anyway, I think it's done, and I think that there's something amiss. This is not an old electrode. This is a pretty new one, so I don't know why it was feeling funny. I thought I applied it well, but maybe I waited too many minutes after my shower and I should have like cleaned my forehead again. Anyway, we're done with that. Treatment's done for the day. And now I don't look like I'm living in a Star Trek place, except for the all of the stuff that I'm using graphically to pretend that I am. Let's see. So I did have this window cutout thing, and now I don't see it, and that's very sad. Candy Store Futuristic Tunnel Holodeck Matrix 1. No. That's weird that it's missing. But let's try the wooden windows. Let's see if I can find it again. Wooden windows was it in zoom backgrounds? It's not a zoom background. It's a foreground. Where did I put it? Where did I put it? Is it in my screenshots? It's not a screenshot. It's something that I made specifically. Oh, it's overlays. Wooden windows. Here we go. So I made this specifically for having a two-shot where me and one other person are on stream. Did I turn snapping off? Let's turn snapping back on. View, edit, lock preview? No. First time I saw the holodeck, your head was blocking the door, so it had Max Headroom vibes. My head? Oh, that's right. I actually prefer not showing the door, but you're right. It does have Max Headroom vibes. Um, if you don't see the door, I guess the door helps clarify where I am at. Yeah, I could do that. Try to imitate his stutters, but I won't. Um, let's see. I don't know where that is, where the locking is, but it's not too important because I need to make this a little bigger anyway. And this needs to be in the back. No, not the back. It needs to be behind the text in front of the cameras, like that. Let's get this bigger so I can see the handles. And I think there's... Oh, it wasn't even the whole frame. And I need to see... Okay, so I need to do a Discord call with myself. So to do a Discord call with myself, I have a second account. This is how I set this up to begin with. Because first I was just doing calls with Aunt B where computer exit. This is all not real. Snap in settings. Thank you. Snap in settings. Settings. I may have turned snap off. Snap. Enable. Snap sources to horizontal and vertical center. To edge of screen. It is on. I think the problem was that my screen was too small, so I didn't have the edge visible whatsoever. And now I do. There we go. So that might be correct, and I just have to scooch over here to get into the window. But I need to check, I need to verify it. So I have another, which one is this? Another account on Discord that I can use to call myself. And I think it's working. And start Discord, quiet you. Oh, the volume is off and it's still making dinging noises? That's not cool. Computer, exit, Arch. Okay, here's my other account, Amethyst, my cat, calling me. And I will mute both because this is not supposed to be testing the audio. And then pop this out. click on this, and now the person at the other end of the call is positioned in this window. And then that's supposed to get cut out and put over here, but it's not cut out correctly. So let's figure out why that is. I think that's because I was doing... No, I don't know why that is. I don't know, but it's not correct. I think it's supposed to be kind of like this, and I shouldn't have changed that size, but I did. And when I go to gaming with Ambi, that's supposed to be her thing cut out, and it's not quite right. It's not cut out correctly. So that's Discord video cropped for game. It is not cropped well, so let's fix it. Meanwhile, I'm holding this other camera up with my hand, just to have a technical demo of a guest. So let's go to Discord video cropped for game, a nested scene. And now in here, why is this the way that it is? I'm not sure. When you go into a scene and you have a crop filter on that scene while you're looking at the scene, it gets confusing. It gets really weird. The shared stream seems like a ton of background tech. It is a ton of background tech. And we've often had trouble getting it to work in the half hour beforehand, which is why it's useful that we do it more than once, and it becomes gradually easier, but each time there's a little something to figure out. So the Discord video is this whole deal, and then it's moved in the scene to, I guess I put it in this corner? Okay. And then that's the scene. And then when I go to the game with Ambi scene, there's the whole thing, but it's not quite right because it's showing all that black stuff on top, which needs to be cut down. So filter that, turn on the crop pad, left and right. Maybe I made it so that her the sides of her camera were cut off. I'm confused. Why would I not have the top cropped? It doesn't make sense. Unless I was doing something with this. Now I'm confusing myself. It's confusing. Okay, let's just crop the top. Crop top. And I'll just let the Discord black border be there. And the left, shrink that down. And just let whatever Ambi has as her camera frame be the camera frame. That works okay for here. And I don't like the shape though. It's just too wide. It doesn't need to be so wide. So to set up a guest cam, you need to go through Discord. You can go through StreamYard or Skype. But I currently have a preference for Discord, but there are pros and cons. There are reasons why people do other things. Especially when they have like a lot of guests, they do have to prioritize different choices. So this is looking super weird because it's got this black bar in here that it shouldn't have. I'm confused by the black bar. And this was all set up pretty well until I started messing with it, and now it's not as good. And my arm's getting tired, so I'm going to put this down. It's going to look super weird, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that it's an actual frame going through Discord. It is guest cam. And so that's the crop pad, but that's not what it actually is looking like on here. And that's weird. Because it should be showing just that. So that's NS Discord video cropped for game. let's remove that. What just happened? Oh, are you sure you want to remove it? Yes. Um, and that's this, which like Discord, OBS has weird display bugs. I think it's a bug where like the red lines don't match up with the edges of the object they're moving. And that's because the filters on this frame include a crop pad filter. Um, and if I get rid of that, then that's no longer true. Now it's just the object. But hold on. Maybe I could do it this way. If I make this the scene, and I don't use a crop pad filter yet, then that's a nested scene. No crop pad filter yet. Go back to the game with ambi scene and add back in the scene, which was the, what was it called? It was Discord video crop for game. So that's that. Shrink it. And I mean, it's not perfect, but it's like, it's fine. It's like my camera here is more square, and her camera, I would like to also make it more square. And that's why I had the crop filter on, so that if I do, I'll remove the top part of the cropping and just do some left and right stuff. So I think I had it at 300 on both sides because when she's in front of her camera, she's pretty well centered, basically. And all the extra space is kind of like not that important. It's just the shape of her camera view. It's not important. You can adjust the edges crop by holding down Alt and dragging a handle. Oh, in the filter view, you can adjust the edges crop by holding down Alt. Oh, look at you knowing how to do stuff. So you don't have to use a crop filter. So this is a different kind of cropping. Ooh, I never knew that. Thank you. I should do more OBS messin streams. So let's turn off crop pad on this. And let's just place this with a bit of that. And try to center myself here so that it's a little more practical. So if I'm centered in my remote view, then Alt resize, and you get those green lines to show that they're not the real edges. That's so nice. And I wasn't aware of the crop pad. Hey, we're teaching each other things. But what you have is, I would argue, far superior to the technique that I had. Alt dragging seems like it makes a lot more sense than using a crop pad filter, just because the interface is so much easier. Okay, so that's pretty much fixed. And then two shot with ambi is not so good. This is using this, with the crop pad filter. So let's turn that off. And this is, Discord video cropped for two shot. This is a different scene altogether. So let's not. In fact, now that you've taught me how to crop better without using the filter, I may not need this scene to exist at all. Because now I'm pretty much just wanting to make it the same as the other one, which means I'll just have a scene that's Discord video cropped. So let's go back to two shot ambi. This, where is it? Cropped for two shot. It doesn't really need to be cropped for the two shot anymore, because now, well, she won't be at the bottom of the frame like this. She'll be like normally centered like this. it'll be something like this, and I can drag her around, but the window is already in front of it, so it doesn't need to be cropped in any explicit way. Like this. And the window will take care of the cropping. Fantastic. Okay, fixed. Great. Thank you for that tip. I should always do my OBS stuff live. Okay, let me move myself over. Face cam cropped. Okay, that's too cropped. We don't want that. Face cam 2-shot cropped. Filters. Let's not crop it. It doesn't need to be cropped. Because we got the window that blocks stuff out. Why would I crop it? There. And then wherever I'm sitting, I'll just scooch it over and fill the frame with the window, and we're good. That seems too big. I'm too close to the window. Okay. That might be because I'm too far zoomed in. It might be 2 levels too zoomed in when I should be 1. Yes. Okay, good. That's Logitech gaming software. Controls the camera zoom. Okay. All right. So things are back to normal in the sense that they're not broken worse than they were before. So now, we got, what were we doing? Starting soon. So starting soon needs to, oh, I can end this call. I don't need to be on the phone with myself anymore. So now I need the microphone to be in the shots where my face is and not the other shots. So what I was doing was the 2-shot ambi. This has the holodeck background or whatever background I'm using, which currently I'm using split cam so that I can have so when Ambi is streaming my face, she's not showing my green screen anymore. She's showing what I choose to put behind me. So this is a different layout program that it's sending a virtual camera signal both to my OBS and to Discord separately. And so then I can be in the holodeck, or I can be in, where was I before? One of the other places. So like an old-fashioned house, creepy for escape rooms. So I've done like this will show up on Ambi's stream. Did I forget to comb my hair? I may have. Pardon me. Okay. And so this signal is not the one. It's not the chroma keyed one. It's just a different signal, different video signal altogether. So face cam, Discord video. No, not the Discord one. The other one. Face cam 2-shot cropped. Oh, sorry. Face cam 2-shot cropped. Why would it be cropped? It wouldn't be. Let's not make it cropped. Why is it not centered? I don't know. So that's split cam. Used to be face cam. Let's get rid of face cam. And we're using the split cam video signal here. Is it cropped? It is not. Is this one cropped? It was, but it's not. So split cam is doing something different with the aspect ratio. In this case, I don't really care because I'm gonna make it pretty square anyway. So let's just face cam 2-shot crop. This is, rename this to NS for nested scene, face cam. It's no longer 2-shot cropped. What is it? It is for the 2-shot. It's not real necessarily cropped anymore because I used to crop it, just put our 2 faces next to each other. But now I'm just gonna call it split cam background. Split cam BG. It is for the 2-shot, but that's not important now. It's now called face cam split cam BG. Let's hold on. Rename. That's a lot of uses of the word cam. we'll just say face split cam with BG background. So I think here I need to add the microphone, audio, input capture, mic. And you probably won't hear me echoing yet because I didn't switch to this scene for the live stream. You're still seeing my full screen, and that full screen is still using just the global mic setting. So this is the oddball, is the face split cam with BG scene. And then there's the face chroma scene. That needs audio input mic. Hopefully that's the correct mic. Let's check it. That is correct. Yeti stereo microphone. Okay. And then, so those two sources, those two scenes are in all the other scenes where my face is. But exactly one of those scenes is in each scene where I show my face. And then the starting soon screen does not have that. So now, Quadrian, just got the kids to bed, missed a little bit. What's a crop pad, Games Cupboard? Well, Games Cupboard didn't know what a crop pad was, so I can tell you what a crop pad is. It's a filter you can put on an element of your scene, a source of in your scene, that crops it, cuts off the top, bottom, left, or right in some amount. And let's see, this needs to move over now that I've changed it. So if I wanted to crop, let's say, let's go back to coding. If I wanted to crop my face more, actually, let's say I wanted to crop my display capture. So my full display capture, this is everything on my screen, including stuff that's like off the edge of the screen. But if I add an effect filter here there's like chroma key I use a lot, crop pad I use a lot. It's crop/pad. I don't use the pad part, but I use the crop part. So if I increase the left by 300, now it's cropping the left side, and I can hold down this up button to like very slowly increase that number, or I can just type new numbers in, 500, and crop more and more of the left side. Crop 100 on the right side, crop 400 on the top, and it crops how much is being used of the original source. And then if I leave that on, it's gonna make what's visible in the display capture smaller. It's gonna like screw with it. It's no longer showing the top and stuff. And I'm editing the source that is in a scene that you're watching, so that is changing what you're seeing right now on stream. If I click the eyeball to get this into the part you can see, if I click this eyeball to get rid of the cropping, to hide the crop filter, I'm disabling the filter. Now you can see what I intended before, which was mostly the upper left corner of my screen and then not some parts of the rest of it. That's one way to do crop and pad, or one way to do cropping. And the other way, cool, thanks, you're welcome. And Games Cupboard just taught me a much, much, much better way that I never knew, which is holding down the Alt button and dragging the arrows. I can just crop it without typing numbers in while I'm like doing layout, which is exactly what it should be. I just didn't know you could do that. That's much better. I don't really see the point of the crop pad now that there's the ability to do this. I suppose there are times when this might be a little unwieldy, but mostly it's purely better in every way. How different is that from alt drag click? I would argue that alt drag click is better. I just didn't know about it. I knew about the tool that I was aware of, and I used it when I shouldn't have, because I didn't know there was a better tool. Okay, so now that I have my mic set up in those, I am gonna get to the LCARS design, but there was a request to continue playing with OBS. So you're now going to hear me muted because I'm going to turn off the mic auxiliary audio input source for my global OBS settings. But then I'm going to switch. Then I'm going to... Actually, do you hear me echoing right now? Do you hear two of me? I should be recording. Let's do a little recording to see if I sound weird or not. And now when I mute this microphone, let's see whether you hear me, because I did edit a scene. Oh no, I edited a scene in preview mode. I haven't deployed that scene yet. Oh, that's what I knew. I thought there was an advantage to the pad thing, but I get it now. There might be. No echo here. Do you use nested sources? I do. And I was reading some stuff about nested sources that suggested putting bracket NS bracket at the beginning of the name of each nested source so that you know it's a nested source. And I started to do that, and trying to trying to use nesting at the right amount, not overly doing it, but anytime I'm repeating myself, I'm trying to make some nested sources. I don't hear an echo, echo, echo. Good. Joe, this is a reminder that you should get up and dance if you haven't recently. Thank you, Good Place Janet. I'm going to invoke my own... Let's see if it works. My own get up and dance sound. Where did I put it? Is it gone? Sound alert, get up and dance. It's on cooldown. Oh, did someone do it? I didn't hear it. Oh, there it is. Now, why do I hear myself? That's because I didn't mute that. So, have you been hearing my... have you been hearing... You haven't been hearing an echo. Okay. So, I think that my speakers were muted before, but my stream was not, and it was a mess. All right. Good, good, good. Thank you, Quadrain, for redeeming the sound alert. I absolutely need to get up and dance so I don't get a migraine. Quaid beat me to it. Yeah. I was like, counting down. Does that mean someone did it? Why don't I hear it? And that's like another technical problem. But I didn't want to double check everything. I wanted to just go live and fix stuff. So the reason there's no echo is because I didn't deploy the change yet to this scene that we're watching now, which is the coding. I call it coding because I usually use it for coding, but it's full screen. I'll rename it since I'm obviously not using it just for coding. Full screen with cam. Full screen with face. Oh no, wrong one. Rename. That was console. I was like, what am I looking at? Coding, not console. Coding. Rename. Full screen with face. And so in here, this has nested source face chroma, which I did add the mic to, but I didn't click the transition button to deploy my changes. So when I go back to full screen with face and I move this around, like I'm moving the location of my captions, but you're not seeing it deployed live because I haven't hit the transition button to deploy those changes. So that's an example of like why the microphone change also hasn't been deployed yet. So now I'm going to mute this microphone. No, I'm going to... First I'll mute it and you won't hear me. Then I'll deploy the changes and then you should hear me the same. Let's see if it works. now, okay, so now this mic aux, it was a little confusing because mic aux, hold on. Let's go to full screen, transition. Okay, now you should be able to hear me. Um, although, no, you cannot. Well, maybe there's a delay. You cannot hear me. Okay. So here we should have no mic set up. But okay, so I just saw in my own view of the stream some catch up. Got it. Okay, yeah. So there's a pretty big delay for some reason. But I can see the green bars moving on mic/aux, and I do not have a microphone in my global OBS settings. It's disabled. I just disabled it. So now when I switch to different scenes, you should be able to hear me or not, depending on whether or not the mic aux is present in the scene through a nested scene. In this case, it's present through the NS Face Chroma scene. NS Face Chroma is this. There's some green bars, there's face cam, camera input, and there's mic aux. If I go to starting soon, there is NS All Alerts, and there's stream starting soon video. But the NS All Alerts scene has these three browser sources, has no microphone. So now when I go into stream starting soon and talk, you should not hear me. Let's try it. So I was talking during that time, and you could not hear me. I'm pretty sure because there was no green bar moving because there was no mic aux in the audio mixer. So now that is all to say that most of these scenes now should be correct in whether or not they have microphone. Can't hear a word you're saying. That's a problem. Okay. Now we do. Okay, yeah. The that was weird. You couldn't hear a word I was saying. Are you watching on a desktop? You're responding to events well ahead of me, even being that I'm on mobile and seem to be lagging behind a lot. In my experience, mobile is more delayed than desktop. I think, usually. And it seems to me that this got moved over. I don't want that. That's better. So now the starting soon, the be right back, you should not hear me. I'm going to continue talking while I switch scenes, and you should not be able to hear me when I'm on stream starting soon, be right back, or ending soon. But you should be able to hear me on all the other scenes. There's also a delay in typing in chat and Joe seeing it. Well, sort of. You're just seeing the past. I'm probably getting your chat messages right away, and whether I instantly notice them is one question. But if you don't see them above my head, that's because there's a big delay. The audio worked exactly as you desired. Good. Thank you, Quaidme. Thank you so much. I'm going to test a couple more, and I'm going to switch transitions to. I'm just going to use cut. I'll use fade because it's quicker than the wave. The wave isn't important right now. Okay, so we're gonna go. And here now you should be able to hear me. And we'll go to be right back. Now we'll go here and you should be able to hear me. The next one is the ending soon screen. You should not be able to hear me on it. Console face chroma is this scene. You should be able to hear me here, and the rest of them you should be able to hear me fine. So this one I should be audible. That's two shot with Ambi, PC game and face. This is PC game and face, which might be I might get rid of soon. But anyway, this one should work. Perfect. Yes. So much better. Now I don't have one less thing to fret about before while doing an intro of a stream. Full screen with face. This is the one that I actually mean to use for this stream because I'm doing a lot of show you what's on my computer stuff. Game with Panda. This, well, you should be able to hear me, is the important part at the moment. Table with 3 cameras. This is table with 3 cameras, which the other cameras are not set up at the moment. Audio is exactly as you're wanting it to be. Thank you for confirming, Quadrain. I appreciate your help. Console, you should not be able to hear me in console because it's just the console. And then the rest of these are nested scenes. Oh, well, there's intermission. The intermission I haven't used, but I haven't finished it, but it's basically a series of cartoons.
Up in the sky! Look! It's a bird! It's a plane! It's Superman!
Okay. And that one should have its own audio, but it shouldn't have my microphone audio. So I feel much better about all that. That is much better. That's good to go. I'm very pleased. Thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate it. But there's more to do. So now we can get into visuals. We fixed the audio and we fixed some visuals, some cropping and stuff. I was expecting Mighty Mouse. Oh, I do need to find some Mighty Mouse, don't I? I mostly got Superman and some Popeye, but Mighty Mouse should be public domain now. Mighty Mouse, public domain, cartoons. I need to resize them because they don't show up correctly. They need to all be the same dimensions or it doesn't work in OBS, and I have to change them all to make that happen. Okay, so back to visuals. What's going on here? So in the multi one, let me get rid of our faces. The long vertical bars are broken up by little pill buttons. Classic Fleischer Superman, love those shorts. Yeah, those they're good. They're good and they're largely like inoffensive. Non-harmful for the most part to some degree. So I have a lot of these shapes already, but I need to do the breaking up into rectangular buttons and pill-shaped buttons, and then add numbers on them, and mess with the colors a bit, and then I think that'll be like a good enough point for this layout. But I did shrink the width of everything. I shrunk the widths of all these bars because even these are kind of thick. If you look at some other people's layouts, or like any layout that doesn't use much of an overlay, you want the game as big as possible so people can see the detail of what's happening, and you want them to see your face, but there's some reasonable ratio of size between your face and the chat and the game. But I have to go. It's been informative. I'm curious to know what screens and programs you have up when you stream, but that'll be for another day. Good night, all. Thanks for coming by, Games Cupboard. Thank you for your hot tip. That was really helpful. I'll see you in the Discord, perhaps, messing with the puzzle pints puzzles. I do have a lot of programs up. I do. I haven't even talked about Snap Camera. That's a bunch of stuff that I plan on adding of channel point rewards to turn me into various types of beings. I'm gonna have a little bit of food. Brain fuel. So, I think I'm gonna move the demo images, into here. So that, oh, that screws it up. I don't like that. Let's not do that. Not ready for that. That's a problem. Have a good night, Games Cupboard. Thank you for coming and helping. Okay. I want to just, I want to be able to hide these more quickly. So basically, I just want to put whatever's in here. You can't even see what I'm doing. Layers. I want to take these demo images and I want to put them in here and I want to move them to the bottom. How do I do that? Oh, I know. I'll select them and then I'll do object arrange send to back. There. So that they're in the back of the solo L cars thing. They're now temporarily part of that layer, but it means that I can more quickly switch the layer on and off so that I can look at my old design and my new design with one click. And that's important. But I will look at the people, I think, just so it's not so glaring. All right, so the main difference is um, these the buttons and the ratio. The let's just look at let's copy a button. Get this copy the aspect ratio of the buttons. I'm trying to like not duplicate my work too much. Let's bring this to the front. I was glad to discover that Illustrator, but not Photoshop, lets you increase this font size of all the interface stuff to a readable size. Photoshop is supposed to, but it actually doesn't work. Let's put that here. Okay. So this button, to be this aspect ratio, just stick it up here, and we'll stick it over here, and then, nope, put it up against that, and keep its aspect ratio, but shrink it down approximately. There, or exactly. All right, so this is perhaps the size of my button. Let's go swatches, make it look different. So it'll be something like that. The gutter between the buttons is, I believe it was 6 pixels. I believe it's the same as the gutter between these rectangles. So that should be fine. And I did a lot of work to make that first one like look the way I wanted it. So I've already done the measurements of what I want things to be, and I just want to like reuse that information. Yeah, height 6 pixels. So let's go here and paste this sucker, which is super, super wide, and make it not so wide. Yeah, I do want to put those cartoons in, but they take some work. And it's too easy to get distracted adding things and fixing things that are not the high priority yet. Okay. Um, Ultimately, I'm not going to want to necessarily have black bars in the document. I'll just want to have a distance between the buttons instead and have one big black rectangle behind it and just get rid of parts of the orange bar. All right, so that's that. But for mock-up purposes, I'll do it whatever way is easiest. And then I'll move them all. Oops. Then I'll move them all, yikes, once I decide where they should go. Duplicate, keep it aligned, and there. Okay. And then, actually, let's go from the bottom. duplicate, keep it aligned, lock it there. So something like 4 is not that many for this height. But we're gonna want some gaps. Here, what I ended up doing was mostly about 3 to 5 buttons in each column section at different heights. But here the column is so long that I might want more than 5. So let's look at some examples of Elcars stuff. So just random Elcars pictures that I've gotten that other people have made for various purposes, just to draw inspiration from. And I got a lot that are like supposed to be like copies of the show in some ways, but I just want it to look cool. I don't care what it's supposed to be exactly, just so it's something cool. So it's pretty common for there to be like lots of buttons going down a column. But usually the columns are like big, like they're pretty fat, so they don't need that many. This one has a lot of very thin ones. A large number of thin ones. When they're thin columns, they sometimes don't have that many buttons, and there's a lot to be said for reducing the number of buttons and having big sections of just solid color. This has about, this has 5. This has 5. Here's 3 in a top section, and here's 2. Okay. But these are pretty wide, which is common with this design aesthetic, is to have very wide columns. I shrunk them down a little bit. This has 5, 5. Yeah, I think in sections, groups of about 3 to 5 are still probably good. And sometimes bigger, taller buttons that are not all the same size are also good. This one's interesting because it is actually one of the only ones I've seen that's designed to be a Twitch overlay. It just doesn't serve my purposes, and I don't know who I would have to credit if I used it. But it's interesting what they chose to do, how they chose to like adapt the aesthetic to fit what they wanted to do. But they're not using captions and not having much room for chat and stuff. So it's a little different from what I wanted. And this one's interesting where they're doing the camera, the face cam cutting into the game, which is common and valid. But I've also seen ones where you don't do that and you show the entire game just shrunk a little bit more, and the face is shrunk a little bit more and off to the side. This one also doesn't have room for chat and captions and other information. So it looks super cool, but it's not the purposes that I'm looking for. But I like how they made things very thin, where they're trying to save space to maximize how much you can see of the game. This has, 5 buttons in a column. Okay, so that is seeming like a pretty common aesthetic. Groups of 3 to 5 buttons that are of roughly this aspect ratio, but sometimes 2 groups if it's a long column. Like my longest column is this one. And so let's go play with this. Let's make this, let's do one more. We'll do the standard limit of 5, and then we'll go, I actually might like to keep it this way with these bars. This is a different way to build the look. But it's kind of nice to be able to just drag them so easily like that. And then we'll put 3 for some difference. Put 3 somewhere down here. I missed something. I missed a black bar. I missed a blue bar and a black bar. Add this, add this. Maybe it's not super convenient. Okay. That's good. Now we got bars over here. These should be the same width. Okay, let's do... can I have nested folders? Create new layer, create new sublayer. Sublayer. This sublayer is going to be called buttons. And this sublayer is going to be called bars. Buttons goes on top of bars. And all of these, oops, from here to here, those are going to go in buttons. And basically the rest of it's going to go in bars except for the images, the sample images. What's this? That's something important. Those go in bars. And then sublayer mockup. Oops. So, mockup images. Go in here. Good. Okay, that's good. So then I can get rid of the mockup images quickly, but I can also have the solo version in one layer with or without the mockup images. So we got the buttons, we got the bars, need some more food. It's good that I'm streaming this because it's I've been like fiddling with it. Like obviously it's not from scratch. And fiddling with it for a few days, but I keep getting distracted, and explaining it to whoever's in chat is, keeps me on task. And I also like have less nitpicky obsession with the details and just like, just put them somewhere. No one's gonna notice. That's not locking very well, but okay. It worked. And we'll do some of this over here. It's locking to a different thing. Unpleasant. Stop. Stop locking to the wrong thing. Okay. Nope. Okay, that's annoying. So, let's fix it. So bars. What are we doing? What are we dealing with here? Looks like this bar is actually extra wide, and it's just it's just covered by a black line on the side. But the space between these two black lines from here to here is properties? No, transform. The width is 70.99 pixels. Not great. Good luck, good night, and good luck with the edits, friend. Thank you, James. Thank you for coming by and chatting. Have a good night. Sweet dreams. 71. So if we make that 71, oops, is it better? Well, maybe. Probably. All right. So I think what happened, there's some sizing bugs in Illustrator, and I think these blue things, blue buttons, are width 70.766, and I think they need to be 71 pixels. If I were nitpicking more, I would make these. I would make everything whole numbers. Make sure there's no fractional pixels anywhere, because it causes less trouble. But I wanna move a little faster than that, and I can always redo and refine sizes and positions of things. Um, Bye, James. Thanks for coming. See you later. I can always refine later. Once I know what I want. Some of the layout is just like, just slap it together, see how it looks, make it better later. Okay, so let's lock the bars. Let's move this. I want to move this down. Here? No. I want to move it up. And then I want to do a 4. I don't have a 4 yet. I'll just take a 5. Oh, I forgot to change the that thing. That's not true. Good Place Janet is lying. Let's change the timers to say turn that off. Cool. Oops. No, I don't wish to exit. Did I save it? Okay, and save. There. Okay, so there's a 5, and I want to make a 4 by deleting 2 of them. But deleting 2 pieces, one of the buttons. And then I want, I think I want a 4 over here. I make my pretty basic overlays in Procreate on iPad. That's cool. What do they look like? Just sort of like solid color shapes? A little bit of a border or something? Baljamet must be a Bad Place Janet infiltrator. Oh my god, you're right. That makes perfect sense. Every time there's a mistake in the bot, I can blame Bad Place Janet. Genius. Welcome, Belgiumet. How are you? Absolutely. Bad Place Janet is known for that. Why are these? I don't know. That's weird. I thought these were all the same size, but maybe not. Oops. Okay, whatever. Doesn't matter. All right, let's get these scooted over here. Okay, good. Let's put some. Okay, so already it looks like weird and wrong because they're all like orange pipes or tan pipes with blue buttons, and it's not supposed to look like that. This is just, I'm just playing with the positioning first, but it is distractingly incorrect. So I'm going to start sort of semi-randomly changing their colors to make it look a little better, a little more chaotic in a good way. Keeping in the color scheme. evening. I am sitting up in bed with a runny nose and far too much sneezing going on, and so I'm typing even slower than usual. Boo, I'm so sorry, Belgiumet. That sounds awful. That sounds very unpleasant. Quadrant set a nice border with colors and effects and bubbles and shapes and uneven edges, sometimes on purpose. Very nice. Yes, get well soon, Belgiumet. I'm sorry you got the sniffles and everything. That sucks. Sneezing. Ugh. Sneezing's so frustrating. My cat is so terrified of sneezing. It makes him run away, although he's started to get braver. There, that's better. So doesn't that already look a little more like Star Trekky? But it's too consistent. It's got like one dark blue per section that it shouldn't be like that. So let's be less consistent. And the bars themselves aren't supposed to be so consistent. I didn't intend for them to be so many things the same color next to each other. I was just doing position, and when I've done this, I did do a stream like this years ago when I designed my other LCARS interface, the first one I made, which was this one, um, and I was deliberately not using these colors when I was designing it. I was using like ugly like greens and purples, like garishly incorrect colors to just to demarcate spaces, which in my head made sense, but I think it confused people on the stream. So I decided to like no, just use the color palette, the intended color palette early, so that it looks presentable while I'm designing it. Um, but like keep tweaking it and messing with it till it looks more the way I want it to look. I still think there's not enough. Well, I need some buttons up here and here too. Thank you, fingers crossed, said Belgiumet. To be fair, there are far worse things doing the rounds than the common cold, so I shouldn't grumble, really. No, you absolutely can grumble. No one's, your misery is as valid as anyone else's, regardless of any other miseries that exist in the world. And regardless of the degree to which other people suffer, your suffering is valid and it's yours and it's real and it counts. And it doesn't matter how small it is. You have every right to complain. And anyone who tries to guilt you into not complaining is just being selfish and egocentric. Kind of a jerk. Okay, I lock the bars. I want to put a 4 up here. What did I just do? I don't even know. What is this? What is it? Oh, yeah. Ah, no. Stop. Oh my god. Gotta lock that. Don't want to break that. Doesn't matter. I mean, I have it elsewhere, but that is not what I meant to do. When I lock that, and I go back to buttons, why do I not see my layers? Oh, because the top layer container was not displayed. Gotcha. There we go. Okay, I want a 4 up here. And I could fret over the way that I'm doing alignment, or I could just fix it later and try to get this looking the way I want it. And later I can rearrange how I'm doing all this. Let's put a 3 here. And oh, I don't like that. There's an unpleasant quantity of space down there. And then let's mess with some colors. Slap those colors around. Let's get a bunch of dark blue here. I think this light blue is less garish than the dark blue was. I used the dark blue in the other one to have a harsh demarcation between bordering the Game Master spot versus the non-Game Master player spots, which I made them more orange. But I also mixed in different shades of orange and mixed some blue buttons in. And here I got the different shades of tan and orange buttons, but mostly blue, medium blue border and bars, and light blue. So I want to mix up the shades of orange and tan, mix up the shades of blue on the bars as well as the buttons. I also want to have sections of buttons be pills instead of rectangles. I didn't get to that yet. That will make it look better. So some of this is going to require breaking some of these shapes into pieces. Like this one. I want different colors for the left and the right. So I also might want more swooshes. I haven't decided what swooshes I want. Like I got the nice left side double swoosh going into one thing that's in a very large amount of LCARS interfaces. And then I made a variation here that's a single swoosh, but I could make this go double swoosh up into here. That would look probably pretty good. I was also thinking about doing one down at the bottom, but I didn't want the path to be too much of a maze. I didn't want it to look too like wiggly waggly snaky shapes. Like I already have a little bit of a snake shape here that's going this way, and I might want to break that. I don't know yet. But at the bottom, I was thinking this one goes up and over, and I was thinking of having it go back down, but that would be a big, and then maybe to the right. That would be a big something, like snaky shape. So I'm not sure. Or I could have this part that goes here go down, go down straight and not connect to the one on the bottom left, but just from here have it go down and then swoosh over. But that's basically echoing what's happening here. So I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But also I need to move on pretty soon to multiple cameras and multiple caption boxes for different streams that I have coming up with different people, different numbers of people. So, and I haven't, so down here, I don't know what I'm doing with this spot yet. It's sort of, it could be if I have some graphics for like my socials, if I have a logo that I haven't made yet, or just if I want to like put alerts somewhere out of the way, I could put them down there. I haven't decided yet. I don't know. But I don't need that whole space for captions, I think. I do when it's more people, but when it's just me, I kind of have a little free space there. Or it could just be some vague Star Trek graphics that make it look like part of the computer interface. I would love to know if Michael Okuda had a formal design language written up for what sort of swooshes went where, etc., or if it was all done on what feels right sort of deal. It's a good question. And at the same time, I don't want to consult too much of the rulebook for the design. I want to look at examples and reverse engineer it more, because there's some intellectual property questions that I don't want to get into, of being too accurate. I just want to like have some fun with it and not be like, I am intentionally ripping off Star Trek. I just want it to be like, hey, it's cool, it's my own thing, my own take on their thing that they kind of inspired. I'm gonna do a little dance break. Let's see if I can hear it this time. Oh, someone else did it. Thank you so much. Thank you for redeeming it, Quadrain. Another thing I want to do is have the bot automatically play the sound. That's surprisingly not as simple as it ought to be. Yeah, I mean that's why I don't always refer to it by the fact that it's Star Trek LCARS inspired. Um, because I don't know the degree to which they think the aesthetic is copyrighted, and there've been some questions about whether people are gonna get in any trouble for making their own LCARS designs. Usually not, but it's a litigious society. You never know. Um, um, all right, good start. I want to have some black spots, and I want to have some. I want to break up some of these pieces. So let's paste this, copy this, and paste in front. And then we'll take one copy and turn it blue so we can see it better. And then shrink it. So shrink it, put it over here. And then the other one. Whoops. Shrink it to here. That blue was just temporary. What I meant was a different orange. A lot of that dark orange going around. Do I want both of these swooshes to be orange? To be deep orange? I don't know. Possibly. Do I want the top piece to be one piece? Maybe. Maybe a slightly darker blue. But not a super deep blue or a very dark blue. I think just a medium light blue. And this piece here, I want this. Paste in front. I'm going to break this up into smaller pieces. We'll do a piece on the bottom. And yeah, more pieces makes it more complicated in a good way. Copy and copy. Why isn't it doing paste in front now? I don't know. Copy, paste in front. Okay, that was weird. Let's get another color. For different button sections. This one can be like this. And probably, oops, I have missed something. Something has gone wrong. This should be black. I think there's too much tan over here. I don't want it to look like there was a big bar and then I drop buttons in front of it all the time. I want to, like, a lot of the time I want the buttons to be a separation between colored bar sections. Ooh, TNG era LCARS, yes. Hello, Macross Firu. How are you? How's your day going? Yes, TNG era LCARS, my favorite. And even I like that, like on the new Star Treks, like Discovery, everything's very different because that's their aesthetic and that's their whole deal. But on Lower Decks, things are not different. Um, on Lower Decks, it's very like the whole point of it is like, no, we're doing like a sequel to Voyager, and we want to bring back the stuff that people wished they could get more of a long time ago, and make it look as much like those old ones as possible, but with a new genre and a new medium. So the difference is not the aesthetic. The difference is the medium and the genre. It's comedy. It's comedy animation. You can drop the Firu part. Macross. I'm very much enjoying the plethora of Star Trek out right now. Yes. Drop the Firu part. Call you Macross? Is that what you're saying? I can call you. I can try to call you Macross. I sometimes forget and just read what I see, but I will do my best. Okay, so we got separate sections of color. We don't want repeated patterns though. So if it's tan on top, we don't want it tan on top twice. So let's do this here and this here. That's a little better. Maybe too complicated, but I think it's okay. And possibly too much variety. Don't want too much variety. Want it to be exactly the right level of interesting without being too interesting. Let's look at some examples again. So get rid of this, and we'll open up some examples from the bottom. Not working. Why isn't it working? I don't know. What are you doing, Illustrator? What's your problem? Haven't seen this happen before. I don't understand. What? Examples. Why can't I show the examples? This hasn't happened before. Okay, I'm at a confusing spot, so let's do a save as. I'm also enjoying the plethora of Star Trek out right now. It's a good thing. It's very good. I know that there's business reasons for it, and some of those are just a studio doing and trying to get their streaming thing going, and there's problems and stuff. But the way they're doing it is to create lots of Star Trek, and some of it's better than others, but it's all good. I like it. Belgium said every year when Discovery's next season starts, I think I ought to buy a new, bigger TV to get a better look at its graphics. This year they cited us foreigners don't get to see it yet anyway. I guess that solves that one. Yep. Yep, they screwed that up. Lower Decks is glorious for the TNG era fan, which is a lot of people because there's so many Picard memes. There's so much TNG in the zeitgeist still, and people just are very aware of it as part of as a cultural touchstone of who we are as people in our society. Just like Scooby-Doo or Seinfeld is just iconic. We need some more dark blue somewhere. I don't think I should break this piece. I don't think I should make it different from the other one. I also have to fix it because it's made of the curve is made of several pieces. Well, I could. Oh, I need to put some buttons in the middle. I need to put some horizontal buttons. Break up that horizontal line. Lower Decks is great. My dad really enjoys it for someone who doesn't much care for Trek. That's a good sign. Is that good, having two different colors for the swooshes joining together? Two very different colors, contrasting? I wish I could see the examples, but I don't understand why they're not working. It's very frustrating. Let me unlock them. Does that help? Yeah, maybe it's because they were locked. There we go. Okay. Yes, so here's some swooshes that are different colors. They have horizontal buttons, uneven amounts, more on the bottom, some on the top. Also different heights, different amounts of braking. But these are two different shades of blue. Let's find some other ones with joining swooshes. Here's joining swooshes, same color. This is a mostly orange palette. Find some more joining swooshes. These are almost joining swooshes, kind of far apart, but they're the same color. Here's some meeting swooshes, same color. Let's see. This one's tiny. Where's some swooshes? You got any swooshes for me? Here's some swooshes. Different shades of the same color. The same part of the rainbow. Okay. Belgium had said, I feared the worst when Lower Decks was announced, that it'll end up being an insult to the fans or something, but thankfully it turned out to be brilliant instead. Fancy perspective swooshes on that one. Well, there's a chat delay, so and I'm going fast, so I may have missed which one you're talking about. This one has two different. This is using gradients. It's a little unusual, and it's got two different colors for the joining swooshes. You were talking about perspective swooshes. I don't know if I saw them. And it's difficult to go through them with the chat delay to be sure which ones you're talking about. Here's some different color swooshes. So yeah, there's a mix. Every rule is a guideline in this aesthetic. But I think different colors is good. Different shades of the same color might be better. There was one with a map sort of thing. Let's look for a map. Map. Was it this one? I think you were talking before this one was on the screen. That's not so much a map. Let's see, one of these maybe. No, I don't think so. Oh, maybe this one. Perspective swooshes. Was it this map? Long range scan? With a typo. Long range scan. Oh no. Typos on the interfaces of the starships. Oh no. That's kind of a map. I don't know if that's what you meant. Maybe this one. It's a Latin America for Trek fans. So much great stuff. And then, say last for me, I also have the Orville as the icing on the cake. People talk about the Orville a lot, and I haven't watched it because I just am so tired of Seth. What's his face? I heard there's a good show. He just does so much gross stuff that I'm kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if I need it. Oh, at least for me, yeah, it's pretty popular. A lot of people consider it to be like the love letter to Star Trek that's like much needed, and that is itself essentially good Star Trek. I was very disinclined to watch The Orville, but I found myself enjoying it. Yeah, I could see that. I probably would enjoy it too. I just have so many other things to watch, and when I see Seth MacFarlane, I'm kind of like, eh. Oh, perspective swooshes. I see. This one. Mm-hmm. The swooshes go out, they go horizontal, and then they create a false sense of perspective. They create a sense of perspective by coming forward to mark out a plane on the bottom. It's like a battleship board, battleship game. But it's 2D, but it creates the illusion of 3D. Yeah, it's cool. it requires some lines that show that this is a 3D space in the middle to be useful. I don't think it would work for what I'm doing, but it is pretty. Not the long rant scan. One showing some sort of scan at the bottom. The swooshes come in and then sort of forward toward the viewer on the sides of the scan map bit. Yeah, I found it. Tactical cartography, showing the three-dimensional positions of objects in space. It's very cool looking. And it's stuff like this that can like fill in when I have a hole. If I just want to dump some stuff in a blank spot, like down here, that kind of thing. It's just like a diagram of a ship or something, or of some space. That's the kind of thing that can go in there. And if I get these done and I like them and I want to keep tweaking them, there's always animation. I could change them into movies later and make them blinking lights and changing status and little moving swooshes and stuff. Quadrian said, I can't stand McFarlane, which is why I love the Orville. But 4 episodes in, he takes a total backseat to the entire rest of the crew. Interesting. Belgiumette said, not very useful swooshes for your plans, I suspect, but they look cool. They do. And just seeing the variety of swoosh design that comes into this stuff is itself kind of useful. So let's try let's try same part of the rainbow, but different shade for the 2 parts of the swoosh. I think that's a little bit more interesting. And I haven't used much dark blue. What is this piece? Oh no, something terrible has happened. There we go. Interesting. Still too much orange on the left. And there's the big master swoosh, the big orange top left framing the game. I might want to break that up. He's the captain and shockingly stays on board during most missions, like Picard. Macross, the T-bar at the top stands a little alien to the rest of the layout. Yeah. I'm glad you pointed that out, because I was worried about that. I was thinking of undoing some of that T-shape, and I was like gonna revert back to an earlier version when I hadn't made that into a single shape yet. The origin of that shape is that the first design I made was this for a role-playing game that was Star Trek Adventures, and without using up too much space, I wanted the game master position to look different from the player positions. So I ended up using more blue around my box than the other 5 boxes. And then I ended up, because of all the buttons, like it doesn't look like one continuous swoosh too much. It's broken up a lot by the buttons. So as I kept tweaking it, I ended up with this shape. And then I was like, well, I'm just going to start with what I already made, and go from there for like other use cases where I have like a game and 1 camera or a game and 2 and 3 cameras. But then I did notice as soon as I did it that I was like, why is my face cut off from the rest of it? Why is like conceptually this seems like my face is its own universe, and then chat and the game and the captions are kind of in the area of like generic boxes. So why is this cut off? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense functionally. And visually, as you just pointed out, and I agree with you, it looks alien to the rest of the layout. It's a good way to put it. And I think that I need to just break it. I need to put some black lines so that it's not like that anymore. Could be the rightmost part of the bar, instead of rounded, it could be curved down like a cap of the top bar. Could be, instead of round, it could be curved down like a cap, and I think the continuity wouldn't seem as intense. Like, yeah, this could come down to cap to join this coming down here instead. Or it can just do what most Elcard stuff does, which is on the right side of the screen, just keep going, just go off the edge and be gone. But also, this doesn't need to be connected as one unit like this. Uh, like most of these are broken at some point, and most of them are just rectangles. They're just bits broken up by other bits. And this one has some buttons, but it's not very broken up. And this doesn't have to swoosh down quite like this. What it could do is I could do a double swoosh. So like I have the double swoosh here going from the bottom and from the top into this crevasse. And I could do the same thing here. I could have these two going over, meeting each other and going together into the canal here. And then the top part doesn't need to be connected at all. There's no need for the top to be connected. Let's just start by breaking the top part. I think that's a start. Could you move the buttons to the top of the downstroke of the T to break it up more definitely? Yeah, that's another way to do the same thing. Is put the buttons. It's funny how impractical LCARS is, but it definitely has an instinctive design meta. Oh yeah, and it's total nonsense. I remember Will Wheaton he talked about how when he was first told to do something in the script, like he was at his console and on the bridge, and he was told to put us into impulse or whatever, and like, or take us out, turn the ship or something. And so he said and he started pressing buttons, but he was like real committed to the details, and he decided, okay, I've decided that these I press these buttons to do that. And then the next episode, when he was told to do something similar, he would remember those were the buttons he was supposed to press, and he would like do something very similar to what he did before to do the similar thing. He started mapping out what his console did, but it was just for his own amusement and like consistency in acting. I thought that was funny. Um, Breaking it up immediately smoothed out the top. Yeah, it's that's better already because it doesn't need to be this strange snaky shape. There aren't a lot of weird snaky shapes. They tend to go like L's and then they stop. They're not usually L's and then like keep on going and swimming and going up and down. And I don't want to get caught up in too much like perfect too much perfect, like make everything as good as it could possibly be, because I want to, because I got some streams coming up that I want to be ready for. And actually I can use this piece here, but bring it to, oh, can I use that in the front? I think so. There. And I want to have some good looking stuff ready for, I want to have one for myself for whenever I feel like streaming, to do solo streams. Sunstuns just popping in to say thanks for your Twitter online presence, makes the world better. Oh, that's very nice of you to say, Sunstuns. Thank you. Welcome. I hope you're having a nice night. Let's Pathfinder this and break these into pieces. After I did all the work to make them all to make them all separate, or make them all united. Now I want to, I want to break them into pieces. Why are you doing that? Ungroup, ungroup, ungroup. Okay. I guess I don't need this to be separate. I got a lot of little objects here going on. Let's go. Okay, let me make this. You can't tell what I'm doing exactly because it looks like I'm doing nothing, but there's a lot of hidden shapes that are unnecessary that I'm breaking them into pieces and then getting rid of the extras and enabling myself to change the color of part of this swoosh, but instead of all of it. something like that. Let's see. So now this. Why do I have two? Ooh, I don't want. Oh no, that's fine. But I don't want. What is this? Maybe that's the black background. This piece needs to get wider. There. Okay. So that's it's less focused on that weird shape at the top. It's still got some work I'd like to do. I'd like to double swoosh it, but it takes a little while to do the change to the double swoosh. Baltima, it's impressive how much difference just that one black line made. Moving the buttons too is probably overkill. The buttons could also move, or there could be more of them. +1 for Zunstons. Oh, thank you so much, Baltima. That's very nice of you. I want horizontal buttons, so I put some vertical buttons. Probably need some more, but I want to have some horizontal ones also. First, let me just do possibly a few more of these, because this line is so long, it needs to get broken up a little bit. Also, probably some gaps would be good, some black lines while I'm playing with color. Gaps are good. Usually, probably. Needs a little something. And maybe over here. Like missing teeth. Just to break it up a little bit more. Good. Good, good, good. But not the same number in each column. So that's good too. Okay. Horizontal buttons. I'm not sure what I'm doing with the bottom bars and the top bar yet. I may or may not put some meaningful words in there at some point, but it may depend when I'm streaming or I don't know. I don't know yet. This is pretty good. Let's do another version. Version 6. I think it's looking better. It's looking better than it was, considering that I started tonight with version 4 was like this, which is pretty good start, but obviously not finished. It's looking nicer. Looking nicer. I do want some horizontal buttons. Let's do that. Let's look at how I did that before. Okay, so here I didn't have a whole lot of horizontal buttons in the end. I think there was a version where I had more of them. Here I just have these broken up pieces in the middle and a couple of slashes through this long swoosh, so that none of the horizontal pieces, except for this weird blue one, none of the orange ones are very long horizontally. Oh, this was version 3. With not too much going on, just figuring out where to put things and putting a double swoosh. Okay. Volume at the top bar would traditionally have the display title, so stream name perhaps. Right, something like that. There's a price to pay. If I hard code anything like the stream title, it's more work to set up a stream doing something different. But it could be something where I put a piece of text in OBS to label what it is, and I just have different scenes for like different types of games or something. Um, but yeah, that's where the name of the interface ought to go. So I'll probably want to put something there. But I also could put some stuff that's like unchanging there, like the fact that it's Twitch, the fact that it's a stream, my channel. Those are the things that don't change um, for my usage of this design. But other things, like what I'm playing, I don't know. Text in the same color as the bar and a black cutout, maybe. Or maybe I'm completely misremembering what they normally look like. Let's look. That's why I have examples. So commonly, so some designs have no bar. They have light colored text on a black background with an empty space black background header. That's one way to do it. Let's start from the bottom. Oh, it's being weird again. What do I do? What do I do? Examples, turn on. Other stuff, turn off. Okay. Yeah, black background, light colored text for the header of the screen. Yes, you're correct. This is another way to do it. Have some color bars with random numbers, but then break those up with black sections with light colored text. Light colored text on a black background. Yes, correct. So a light colored bar broken with a rectangle of black with light colored text. If OBS could put it in there in the right font, you'd be onto a winner. I know that's another question. Can I dynamically change the text using a good font, a good LCARS-like font, which I have found before. Yeah, this does break that. It here it has the long rant scanner on a black background with a black bar, and here, or no bar, you could say, and here's the color bar with the black rectangle breaking up the bar to put the title in a light colored font, in this case matching the bar. And these, yeah, these are different colored text from the bar, but same principle. Break up the bar with a black rectangle and put tall skinny letters in the bar, in the black section of where the bar is broken. You're absolutely right. That is the standard way to do it. So when I get to putting meaningful text in, that is what I will want to do, is put a black rectangle with whatever it is that I want to put up there. And I haven't thought about that part yet, but I do want to do that. So what did I do before? Yeah, so here Star Trek Adventures was the title, and that's where I broke that up. And I had to put these pieces, the widgets, these two widgets were like, after I had designed it, the organizer of the event said, well, I sent him like my 20th version of this thing, and hello, are you making a Star Trek layout? I am. Thank you. Welcome to the stream, and thank you for coming, that Adrian guy. When I had done this before and I made my 20th version of this and I sent it to the organizer, I was like, look, okay, I think this is ready now. And he was like, that looks fantastic. Just one thing. We need to be able to put this thing at the bottom, and we need to be able to put this thing somewhere. And I was like, okay, give me 20 minutes. And I like shrunk everything and just made room for this thing at the bottom and made this super tall and squeezed this in at the top. And I said, here you go. Here it is with and without. You can drop your widgets on top of it. And that's why those look out of place, because they were required by the stream. and they were not designed to look like anything in the stream. They were just what was possible to do at the time for the constraints they had for the stream. But for the title here, I was very like, this is going to be, I'm just going to call it Star Trek Adventures. That's the best possible title. Because you should have like one phrase at the top, not more than one for one of these interfaces. Belgium said, I noticed the titles in the examples are mostly on the right, which is right above your face cam window. So maybe that's where your name lives for your streams. Interesting. Interesting point. Good suggestion. Because if I did want to have one and only one like official title item, this is like title it would go like here, cancel, and let's find what I had before. Again, I want to reuse as much as I possibly can. Like, I'm really glad that I already did so much work, and I don't want to start entirely from scratch. What is this? Labels. This is the labels section, but what is this? This is text. And what font is this? And does it embed, did I embed the full font or just the letters used in this text? Type. Font. My computer just hung trying to open this up. This is called Swiss 911 Ultra Compressed BT. Okay. Cool. Let's copy it. I don't remember the research on that, but I obviously did some research to find a font that looked good enough, and there it is. You are attempting to paste or drag into one or more layers that are locked or hidden. Do you want to unlock and show all appropriate layers? No. I just want to click on this layer and paste. That's what I want to do. And then I want to change this text to possibly my name. Hey, it works. And maybe some other stuff like Twitch stream or something. I mean, you know you're on a Twitch stream. That's not a mystery. Maybe not that. Hold on. I'm not resizing it correctly. I remember that Welcome to the Party charity marathon was good fun, and the first time I watched any RPGs being played properly. Shame the group fell apart messily not all that long after. Yeah, it happens. It was unfortunate. I bought so many Star Trek Adventures rulebooks after that. So many. I have thousands of pages to read if I really want to. Because I was like, oh no, we're gonna do more. We're gonna do more. And then I was like, it's not easy. Like that game took me a month to write. Because I wanted it to be good. And it was good. People were like, that was like a good episode of Star Trek. I was like, thank you. It took me a month to write. This is not resizing very well. Let's try make it big. And then about the same height as the thing. This is not what I want this to say, but just to see what it looks like. Let's change the color. Something like that. Interesting. Yeah, Welcome to the Party was really nice, and it had some fatal flaws, and its leadership was unfortunate and just made some mistakes and fractured and became the people who were using that place to come together started making their own smaller group channels, which did spawn a lot of really good, excellent new role-playing game channels for marginalized groups like Utopia and some other ones. And other ones just sort of like smaller existing ones like picked up some of the slack. Yes, that game was what made RPGs finally click for me. Well done your efforts there, certainly. Thank you, Belgian Man. I appreciate that. A lot of that was written in the shower. I'm often thinking, and then what? And I have a notepad that sticks to the wall in the shower and is water resistant with a pencil. And a lot of the events that happen in that game were written on that water resistant notepad. Like, and then one of them, let's see, he feels pregnant, and one of them is desperately homesick. And who would that be? Interesting. That E looks weird, but that's just a scaling display preview problem in Illustrator. That's interesting. I don't know if I want my name there, but it's cool that I can put something there, and it could be the the game that we're playing, and I could just change it each time. Um, can OBS do it? Wouldn't that be interesting? Alas, can't see past my own nose without my glasses, so I just have to rely on my dodgy memory instead. I do my best work in the shower too. Yeah. I mean, you can write pretty big on those notepads, but it's less about seeing what you're writing and more about writing it and then trying to make out what you wrote later on. Um, I find it pretty helpful. So let's look at what am I doing? Full screen with face. Uh, well, let's add a text element to OBS, and we'll call it Star Trek title. And the font we will pick, it was called something Swiss. But Swiss wasn't the first word. What was the first word? Type, font. It was Swiss. Swiss 911 Ultra Compressed BT. Is that available in here? Yes. Ew, interesting. So, like, on Monday, I'm going to be playing with Ambi a game called We Were Here Too. So I could, in OBS, let's do this. Put a space on the beginning and the end. Change the background color opacity and the color. Should it be white? Or should it be one of these other colors? Look for examples. Changing that in OBS would be a lot more fun than changing the image and exporting it and placing it and all that crap. Because I can always just not have a title, and that looks okay. But I can also add a title. I think I might have, I don't know why I put Star Trek Adventures on the left. It's part of this whole T-shape thing that isn't quite right, but felt right for the occasion. Let's look at examples again. I want to see the color of the titles. So here, this one's not standard, but it's using the palette colors, not white. Here it's got a weird palette, but it's using a palette color. Here it's using palette colors, blues, palette colors, sometimes the same as the bar. Do I like it the same as the bar? Here it's slightly different from the bar, but same color family. Here there's no bar. Here they wrote Elcar's system Twitch stream. This was like how they uploaded their work to like DeviantArt or something. And presumably you could use it like this, even if you're playing Star Trek Online. This makes sense. If you're playing something else, you'd have to edit it. But I'm not planning on using their design anyway. I just wanted to look at it. This uses the United Federation of Planets logo, which is kind of cool. Streaming online. So this uses some cool stuff that looks like the status of what's happening in the computer system that I'm using to stream is being displayed in the LCARS system, which is kind of cool. And that's a candidate for like what to do with my empty bottom left corner, is to put stuff like that, like status of like what is my computer doing, that's the LCARS system wants to communicate to the user, like streaming active, online active, random numbers flashing and stuff. I don't know, when I have space for it. This one has a white title and no bar. Most of them use um, a color palette color. Most of them use a color that's not white. That doesn't go very well. Let's see, what if I make the bar like, now we're getting very orange, but okay. So if I hide the title thing, oops, and I hide the mock-ups, and I'm not done, but if I don't know if I like this orange. Okay. I probably want this to go off the edge of the screen. Oh, Z-shaped swoosh. Z-shaped swoosh? Was there a Z-shaped Z? This is S. This is Z. Z-shaped swoosh. Was there a Z-shaped swoosh in the examples? I didn't notice it. Have a quick look. Find the Z-shaped swoosh. Ah, this one. Yeah, that's it's cool. I would argue that it looks a little less like LCARS than a lot of the other ones, because this was created by someone like me, just an amateur, making like trying to make something cool looking that's intended for live streaming, rather than something that's like just supposed to look a lot like a computer design from the show. This does have a C shape. This has a swoosh that snakes in a C or a U shape. This one even kind of zigzags through this other thing too. And it has a C up here. So this is using top and bottom rounded corners to create these half rounded rectangle sections. The pale blue bar works, and then the darker blue for the text. Oh, that might be pretty. The pale blue, this is like a medium pale. I got 4 blues. 24th century UI is crazy. Hey, Dr. Haggis Pants, how are you? I am just primed to spot Z's everywhere at the moment. It is a nice Z, and I could put a Z like that here, but I don't need to. And that was the other one was different because it was dancing around a shape, like specifically having a tension between whether to cover the game with the camera or not cover it, and they kind of addressed that tension by drawing this Z-shaped line. Whereas I have dedicated rectangles for each thing, and any rounded parts of it are purely for fun. Although this part needs to get rounded. I didn't round the inner part. If the outer part's rounded, the inner part needs to be rounded too, just like over here. Dark blue for the text. Yeah, I think I want a little more dark blue. I think I might want to break this orange piece up. We'll come back to that. Don't want to get bogged down in too much because I want to I want to have a version that's like fine, use it, keep tweaking it in the future, but also have ones that I can use on Monday for a stream with Ambi, and then Thursday I have a PB&J stream with Panda and Benita, which is gonna have 3 cameras, and probably one caption box for the 3 of us because we're not all streaming, and you can do one caption box for everyone with if only one person's streaming. Um, on Monday we're gonna have 2 caption boxes because we're both streaming. Um, what I was gonna say was, let me save as version 7 and export this. This palette has some purple in it too, right? I have not noticed any purple in Elkar's designs most of the time. In the most consistently similar to each other set of designs that I've seen from like TNG and Voyager, I don't think there's a lot of purple, but I'm happy to be proven wrong. Export for screens, export as, I don't know, export for screens. What's that mean? I don't know. Scale, PNG, yeah. Include bleed? I guess. Export artboard. Let's see what happens. Oh no, I saved it the wrong place. Creative Cloud files. No thank you. I'm going to put it in overlay. What's happening? That didn't work. Let's try export. I haven't exported in a while. I could do save for Web Legacy because I don't know why they call it Legacy, but it was always the most straightforward one to me. All right, save. I'm not sure why they think this is Legacy when it's the way it's been done for a long time and it's super easy to do. There, saved. Um, if I'm sorry, I didn't realize I had this plump text here. Let's make a scene. I'm gonna call it Elkar's solo game. And in this scene, we're gonna add an image, a new image, which is, what is it? Elkar's solo overlay. And that's in the overlay folder. This one. Cool. Cool. It's going to take a very tall chat box, which I have to set up in Stream Elements. It's going to take my camera. It's actually probably going to be not using my green screen chroma one, but my other one, my split cam one. So that'll go behind because there isn't anything to be in front of when I'm in this box. Like I need to put something there. And then in split cam, I can switch to holodeck because that makes sense. And then there would be some game over here. All right, so having fun with all that stuff, but that's, well, hold on. Let's add a couple more things. So browser source, captions Joe. Here's my captions, which is not the right dimensions for the hole that I've made for it. So I either need to have another one or I need to have just shrink that and use the space for something else. Let's do caption, new one, captions Joe wide. And we'll copy some stuff from here into here. And then make the width, I don't even know what it's supposed to be. 800 is pretty close. 750. The height is 200 or something. I don't know. Something like that. That's actually pretty close. And then get rid of this one. Wow, nailed it. Okay. I want it to be in the back, just in case. And then there would be some game here, which needs to happen. Um, let's lock this so I don't move it. And now the reason I did this was partly, Panda, can you design me a bamboo overlay? Ooh, I bet I can. That's a good idea, Panda. Hi, how are you? I want to design us a PB&J one. Everyone, this is Panda Angel. She's incredible. And we're streaming on Thursday on my channel. We are 2/3 of PB&J. Benita is the other. Benita is the butter. Panda is the peanut, and I am the jelly. But the PB&J drawing is a little bit more. I'm not there in my brain. Been lurking. Oh, I lurk all the time. Um, a bamboo overlay. I bet we could. I mean, just get some pieces of bamboo. I have a bamboo background thing, like a physical one, um, that I could take pictures of. I bet I could. I could do it in two different ways. One could be pieces of bamboo that are separators between the boxes, and one could be the like strung together roll of bamboo sheet of like small slats, and then just like cut them out, cut boxes into it. Hmm. I bet we could do that. That's interesting. But what do we do for PB&J? I'm thinking like, I don't know, like an actual sandwich with like cut pieces cut out of it, not a photo diagram, a picture of one, a drawing, a drawing. But the reason that I opened this already when it's maybe not done, is because I wanted to put the Star Trek title thing on it in OBS so we could see what it's like to do. How do you zoom again? I don't know. How do you zoom? I just learned this. Oh, spacebar. Spacebar. Okay. So this is good, but not great. To get it to be the right size, I need to make it bigger, but it has too much black space on the bottom. I can crop it using the technique I just learned from Games Covered, which is Alt Drag. Oh my god, that's so easy. I love you, Games Covered. I love you so much. He's gone, but I have to send him my love. It's taught me the most important thing I've ever learned about OBS. Everyone else knew it, I just didn't know it. Quadrin said I could try to do a bamboo overlay in Procreate. No promises. I'm still a novice. Hey, a sandwich schematic. Yes, a sandwich architecture blueprint, if you will. Panda, look, you're inspiring people. We got lots of offers for people thinking they could make a bamboo overlay. Yeah, I'm sure we can make you a bamboo overlay. I think we can make that happen. So we could do this, and then Belgiumet was suggesting a dark blue. Why isn't it working? I don't know. Dark blue for the title in the color from my palette. What color is this? Process color. Don't give me that. Give me the thing. Do I have to type it? What? Give me the hex code. Come on, Illustrator. What does spacebar do in OBS? Spacebar. I just learned. So I recently learned about spacebar, and I recently learned about Alt resize. Um, Spacebar. If you hold down spacebar, your pointer turns into a hand. Keep spacebar held down and click and drag. That moves stuff around. Moves the view around. That's nice. Um, that's like instead of like scrolling um, left and right and stuff. So that's helpful. But then also, if you hold down spacebar and you use the mouse wheel and you go up, it zooms in. And you keep spacebar held down, you're still a hand, and you drag stuff around. You zoom in and you zoom out, and you're not affecting the stream, you're just looking at different parts of it. So that's cool. And then the other thing I just learned tonight was the proper way to crop things is to not use a crop pad filter, but to just select an item and then hold down Alt and click and drag the edge, and it turns from red to green, and it just crops it right here, and it's so much better. I don't even know why the crop pad filter exists. It's only there to confuse me, and I no longer want to use the crop pad filter for anything ever. Color mode dropdown might have a hex option. I wish it did. I really do. Color mode, you're right. Of course you're right. I have streamer brain and I can't think about all the obvious things. RGB, HSB, CMYK, lab, WebSafe RGB. Nope, hold on. RGB, HSB, CMYK, lab. They're just so obsessed with print or with something. They're like, oh, I'm sure you don't need to bother with, copying one value and pasting it somewhere else. No one would ever want to do that. Color type, spot color. Disappointing. I am disappointed in in Illustrator for not doing this very, very basic thing. Crop pad can be for like circle shapes. Crop pad. That's alpha. Crop pad. Oops. Filters. If I do crop pad, all I get is left, top, right, bottom, not circle shapes. If I do render delay, luma key, image mask blend, crop pad, color key, color correction, chroma key, apply LUT. Circle shapes is alpha, and I forgot how to do alpha. How to do, like, you put an alpha black and white image to crop out stuff in a circle or in a gradient or in a star shape, whatever shape you draw. I've done it, but I forgot how to do it. But crop pad, I don't. It might be legacy. It might be that was the old way, and I never caught up. I learned to do it the new way, which is Alt drag. Look at that. Look how easy. Oh my God. And I need to make a tall chat box. That'll be an alternate. I can do that pretty soon. But let's get this color. We'll just do it we'll just do it. This is the R, this is the G, this is the B. Maybe we'll use a website or something. There must be a website that just translates these. RGB 51, 82, 193. Ugh. You know what translates it? Photoshop. Let's see if my head computer can handle Photoshop right now. I bet it can. At the top of the stream, my computer like bugged out, but it turned out it was Snap Camera losing its mind because I was recording and I'd forgotten it was recording, and there was a bug and it wouldn't let me stop recording, so I had to shut it down. I was just playing with the filters. New whatever. Okay. So here's 5182 193. This is the long way to do this, but we're doing it. We're gonna go in Photoshop Already forgot. 51, 82, 193. 52, 81, 193. The most expensive way, 51. Most expensive way to convert from RGB to hex, Photoshop. Okay. So now OBS, we're going to take this text, we're going to change this color, we're going to put this in here, and at long last we have a dark color. And the verdict is, I don't think so. It's too dark. But nice idea. I think the other way would work, a dark bar and a light text. Like the text has to be light to be readable. This is not readable. But I could do a dark bar. Let's get these hex colors collected over here, because apparently that's something I need. So that's the dark blue. If I were better at Photoshop and Illustrator, I would just take my swatches from Illustrator and I would just put them in Photoshop. That should be easy, right? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe it is. Photoshop, window, swatches. Swatches, new, replace swatches. Can I make a new collection of swatches? I don't know. Reset swatches, default colors. That's what that is. So that's already going to be there. So we could just do replace swatches with what? Presets. Oh, I don't know what that's about. What if I just drag them? Let's just drag these to the end here. Nope, can't do it. You'd think, but no. Fine, whatever. Let's get the light one. I can't believe I'm just a little angry that they don't provide the hex code for the color in Illustrator. 161, 193, 235. Okay. That's not good. Yeah, that's not good. 161, 193. 161, 193, something something, 235. 235. Hex color. Got it. Light blue. Dark blue. OBS. Color. Ta-da. Color. Neat. I think that's kind of cool. Could be moved over a little, maybe. Something like that. I like that I can edit it. I can put the text in OBS and edit it there. That's really much better. The white doesn't look bad, actually. Depends how pedantic or fancy you're being, I guess. OBS does let you specify RGB triples, surely. Right. I could do that, but I don't want to. I wanna quickly be able to reuse these swatches as single strings, you know? Hey, it's time to dance. Let's dance. Everybody, get up and dance, please. Thank you very much. If you could see me full body with like a better camera angle, you would be blown away by the quality of my dancing. Just blown away. Actually, this looks weird now. I have to remember each program has different keyboard shortcuts for doing exactly the same things, like scrolling around and stuff. I think I gotta turn off Snap. Snap is messing me up. How do you turn off Snap? Settings, right? Is there an override for snapping? Hmm. Oh, it's still doing it. Oh my god. That's because it's snapping to the other item, the other sources. I guess I could just disable snapping. Okay. Nice, 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 nice. Nice, nice, nice. I think I'm gonna open this up a little more. There we go. Yeah, the RGB triples I could do. I just it seems so ridiculous to do that each time. Cool. So that answers the question. I don't want to put the text into the Illustrator document because I can put it in OBS. Like you said, the white doesn't look bad. It's um, probably looks like familiar enough, similar enough to Elcar's interfaces. Um, Enough of them have white that it should work, or something like that. I can also always add black rectangles and stuff. Um, the next thing I want to add, whoa, Steph Straw Games is here. Hi, Steph. How are you? I am shocked by this Star Trek overlay. Thank you. I hope it's a positive shock. I imagine it might be. Um, I think the next thing, this may be nitpicky, but to me, it's essential. Some of these buttons need to be pill shapes. Um, and this blue thing at the top needs to stop being a pill shape on the side. Probably. I don't know about that. Let's find out. How are you doing, Steph? This is Steph Straw Games, is also known as Insert Straw here, or formerly known as. I mean, I'm not surprised, but I'm pleased. Well, thank you. That's very nice of you to say. How are you doing, Steph? How's it going? Okay, so we're no longer doing as much stuff with this being all funky. Um, so I think we're gonna just kill that, and we're gonna take these and we're gonna move them over here, and it's gonna go off the edge like that, formerly known as. Wasn't that right? Isn't it? I know you were in Insert Straw Games for a long time on Twitter, and I can't remember if that's recently your name on there or not, but it might not be. Hope you and everyone else are doing well. I know that someone in chat has a cold, but we have at least celebrated the fact that it is only a cold in the age of things being worse than colds. Um, but I'm doing pretty well. That's why I'm able to stream today. I do have to do some caulking in my bathroom because my neighbors are stinking up the joint with their nasty ass weed. Um, which keeps me up all night. Oh, I want to do some horizontal buttons, and I want to do some pill-shaped buttons, like these over here. Well, these are double pill. I want to do single pill, like these ones over here. And I want to do some horizontal buttons. Those are important, but I also want to look at examples with the label at the top. Here, when it ends with a pill shape, no label, or title bar. Title bar ends in a pill shape. Oh, okay. But this one comes down into the swoosh. Pill bar, so pill ending, pill on the left, but going down into a swoosh. This is a pill on the right, but not on the left. Interesting. Yep, same. These are pills on both sides. So, but that's with nothing on the left. Just all the way across a long, long, round pill. Pill going into a swoosh. Just text. Okay, those are some examples. Well, that makes me rethink it. Maybe I like the pill. Undo. Undo everything. Okay. Maybe I like the pill after all. Or maybe this should join in with the stuff on the left. It doesn't have to. It's fine. It's fine. Maybe I get rid of it on the right, on the left side. Maybe I keep the pill on the right, but I get rid of it on the left and I just make it flat, but not joined to the other line. Possibly. Like this. Like that. Is that better? That's a little better. I think. I think that's okay. And then this orange still goes up off screen. Yeah, I think that's probably good. Horizontal buttons. Finally, let's do them. So we're gonna take the this black line here and clone it and shrink it real tiny. And we're gonna break this stuff up. I'm gonna put some horizontal buttons on these lines. Should they, well, should it really cover both lines? Maybe sometimes. Maybe. Belgium said the engineering station is usually the rightmost of the bridge consoles, right? What? You mean when you're watching the show? It's on the audience's right? And the navigation station, likewise. If you're watching the show facing Picard's chair from the screen, navigation is on the right. So the pill ends are to do with physical location. If there's an adjoining display, the bar carries on, and if there isn't, it gets an end cap, would be my guess. That is a very clever way of looking at it. Entirely possible. And yet, if you look at lcars.uk.org, you look through hundreds of LCARS images, there is a preponderance, an excessive preponderance of these swooshes coming down from the top and the bottom, joining together, cross from the left to the right, and then going off screen over and over again. So there's not a lot receiving that swoosh and doing much with it on another screen. So I don't know if they thought it through the way you did, but that's a perfectly good way of handling the whole thing from the operator's perspective rather than audiences. But yeah, it's that is a valid headcanon to have. Let me see, what did I do here for my width of these things? I think I made them, yeah, I made them pretty thick. They're basically the same thickness as my gutters, my vertical gutters. They're just more vertical gutters. Cool, cool, cool. For those just joining, this is a layout I did years ago for a role-playing game. And since I already did a lot of work to make that happen, I'm borrowing pieces of it, measurements and ideas and stuff for my other layouts that I'm now doing for my solo streams and for my streams with one or two other people. It was the top title bar I was thinking of, specifically looking at your example pictures. Oh yeah, that's true. In the examples, that there was a lot of variation with the rounded caps of the top left and top right. That was less. That seemed to have less rules. It just sort of did various different things at different times, which is why I ended up keeping this right pill cap and then just changing this one over here, since I've kind of de-emphasized the importance of this top piece. I'm gradually making it just be like, it's a, it's a thing, but it's not like a whole, it doesn't serve an important function like it used to, of like having the blue section mark off why one player was different from the other 5 players. That's completely pointless for this layout. All right, so I think the first thing is, oops. The first thing is that I want this stuff to be a continuation of that stuff. You get what I'm saying. This stuff, that stuff, other stuff. And then because of that, what am I intersecting? I don't know. I think it might be smart enough to recognize what I'm doing. Maybe, maybe not. No, maybe not. Okay. What am I doing? I guess I got to do some cutting. We got this, and we're going to cut them, which we got to do anyway. Because if we don't cut them, we can't change the color. Now it's lots of little pieces and stuff and whatever, but that's fixable. Still a lot of little pieces. But now, oh, I didn't do this one. Let's cut these. Illustrator pathfinders are good for cutting. And we'll get ungroup this one taller. And now we can have this be different color, but we can also copy it. So we'll get this, and we'll do like before. Let's change the color so you can see what we're doing. So that piece and this piece, there we go. Clone them, put them here, and put some more buttons there. Let's see how that looks. It's too centered, but it's nice. It's not bad. And we'll fix the colors. We'll fix the colors. To make it less centered, we just have to take these two, click, click, and do that. Good. And I could do some stuff on the bottom and break this up some more. Probably a good idea. Could do a little bit under my face thing over here. But I don't want to because I'm getting tired. I want to make some more progress on the most important things first. So let's do this and this and this and this. I just need to break that top bar up into different pieces so that I can make it different colors. Oh no, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? I don't know. This one and this one. This one, oops. This one. This one. This and this. Pathfinder split them up. Ungroup, ungroup, ungroup. There we go. Now we can make these different colors. And we're still going to have to add numbers and text to a lot of these buttons. But I want to do some colors, I want to do some horizontal buttons, and I want to do some that's not bad. Maybe join some of them together. For variety. Um, and now we need some pills. So we have a lot of rectangle buttons. We need some pills. This is version 8. Let's do over here. What's happening? Buttons is locked. Okay. So this button was generated from Pathfindering, and so it doesn't have rounded corner controls. And there's some bugs in Illustrator about rounded corner controls. So if I take this and I clone it and I make it bigger, it might get controls, it might not. It doesn't. Even if I make it huge, there's no rounded corner controls. But if I start replacing these buttons with fresh rectangles of exactly the same dimensions, then they get rounded corner controls, and then the other one can go away. So then we do this, and we get pills. And then this, oops, this goes away, revealing the harsh truth that there's no black rectangle behind it. So we need to put a black rectangle behind it. What is that behind it? That is the big orange thing. Okay, so the big orange thing needs to get cloned. Paste in front, shrink it to here. Shrink that to here. Nope. And now we can see, because the background is fortunately white, we can see that we are missing a black rectangle behind that stuff. So we'll put a black rectangle there. Send that to the back. Object, arrange, send to back of the bars layer. Yeah, that sounds good. It's a black bar. And now we have a pill. And the pill, this pill can go get cloned to here, and here, and here. Change these colors. Here, let's change each of these. Actually, what do I want to do? I'm thinking. This, let's just change these. I already kind of did their coloring. And now I just want to get rid of the rectangle versions. Nope. Where's the pill? I lost my pill. Okay. Try that one again. Make it blue. What is happening? Buttons. Keep the pill. Drop the other one. Hold on. We're going to lock the bars. We're going to select these two button shapes. Here it is. We want just this one. Delete. Now we got some pills. That looks very nice. Very nice pills. We're going to get 3 pills and put them. Let's look at this again. So my design here was, what did I do? In the end, I just kind of took, I had like 8 blocks of buttons, and I just made 3 of them pills. Pretty much at random. They ended up being in the top right because I kept changing things and changing things, and eventually this was felt balanced to me. Um, so some areas of the interface have pills and some have rectangle buttons. Basically, that's my first version, my old version. Now let's look at some examples before I run out of steam entirely. And we're looking at buttons and pills. So here's pills in a section. Here's rectangles on one of these strips. Here's a mixture of half button, half pill grid things. This is rectangles essentially, but not very conventional. This is mostly rectangles. This has some pills, some partial pill attached to rectangles. So when you have a grid, you have like more variation of this button, pill, partial pill kind of whole thing. But when you just have a vertical strip, it's really more one or the other. This is mostly rectangles. Here's a bunch of pills with lines through them. But that's because they're very wide. So they just needed to get broken up a little bit. Here's a lot of pills, half pills, but that's a grid. In most of these swooshes, it's rectangles. There's not a lot of pills in the rectangles. In the swoosh long pieces. The pills tend to be coming off of the sides of things. But here's one. So here's a swoosh that comes down, and then it's a series of pills. Rounded edge pieces. Okay, this is mostly rectangles on the swooshes, but there are columns of pills as well, and half pills. Okay, this one's mostly rectangles, but also unconventional. So it's pretty much do whatever you want. Pretty much. But it is 10:24, and I gotta brush the cat's teeth and probably wind this down pretty soon. So let's switch to, let me get some toothbrushes, and we're gonna brush some cat's teeth. Now I can practice getting the right transition. The right scene for what was I doing? It was no, base chroma table corner. Yeah, I think so. That is missing captions, and let's fix it. So this needs a browser source, which is maybe the wide captions. Why not? And the chat. I'm going to put chat in here. And what else? What am I forgetting? Well, you know what? Let's also put, oh, what is it? Is it a game? Or is it a window? Window capture. Not a window capture. Maybe it's a game. Game capture. Stream avatars. Everybody's little happy dancing people. Of which there are not too many right now because it's late. People have to go to bed in the United States. But this is good for me just to have ready for future times. Okay, and then those are on the right, so if I'm a little bit more on the left, that's fine. And let me get a cat and a toothbrush. I'll be right back. There we go. And now to physically turn the camera down to get Nibbler on there. And brush your teeth. Good boy. Ready? Yeah. Good boy. Yeah. Okay. Okay. You're good. Good boy. Yes. Good boy, Nibbler. It's a kitty. Hi, Belgiumat. Nibbler, say hi to Belgiumat. Okay, you're doing good. You're doing good. Yes. Almost done. Almost done. Nibbler looks surprisingly compliant with this operation. I was expecting more blood and screaming. He is extremely compliant with this operation, which is very odd and surprising in general if you know Nibbler, because he's not a violent um, cat towards humans, although he can be violent towards Amethyst. But he doesn't like being held very much. So it is curious how much uh, he just he complies with operations. Anything that he thinks is an operation, he'll comply. If he thinks I'm just cuddling with him, he'll leave. He'll push, and turn, and twist, and try to get away as fast as possible. And I've sometimes taken advantage of his his willingness to submit to operations by making him think that I'm doing an operation when I'm not. Hi, Panda. It's time for cat teeth brushing. The most exciting part of my streams. I generally save it for the end. Because people are like, this is like a circus performance. How does your cat do that? And I'm like, I don't know. We just did it since he was a baby. Good boy. He's like, he knows he's done. He knows this is the end of the procedure. But what if we do a dance? Are you ready for a dance? Panda boogie, woo woo. Panda boogie, woo woo. Panda. Look at his head. He's like, let me go. It's time to go. No, it's time to dance. It's time to dance, man. Let's dance. Bump 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 bump. Yeah, he's like pushing really hard on my hand, trying to get his head further and further away to be like, I want to go now. Okay. Thank you. Good boy. All right, one more cat. And one more kitty cat. Okay, Amethyst. Let's see. This was Nibbler's thing. Let's use your thing separately. Oh, I didn't close his toothpaste yet. Let's do that. Where's your toothpaste? Here it is. She also doesn't really like being held, although she does like to cuddle in certain circumstances. Just has to be on her terms. This isn't the position that she would take for cuddling, though. This is the teeth brushing position. And she has one sensitive tooth that we do first. Brief and gentle. Done. We do that first so she doesn't have to stress about it. Otherwise, she has to cry and be like, remember the sensitive one? Don't hurt me. I think it's become less sensitive because she used to cry a lot when I touched it, and she doesn't anymore. So it's partly I've gotten better at it, and it's partly Valjamet says, hello, Amethyst. Hello, Amethyst. Amethyst has a new button. It's her own name. And she started pressing more buttons recently. The last 2 days, she started pressing lots of buttons. Usually, Nibbler's the only one pressing all the buttons, asking for toys and help and pets and stuff, mouse and play. But Amethyst has been pressing lots of buttons recently. And it seemed as if it coincided with when we added an Amethyst and a Nibbler button. And she's heard her own name come out of a button. And she was like, are these buttons for me? I thought they were for Nibbler. Maybe I should use them. And then I think yesterday Nibbler pressed the Amethyst button and he was like trying them out. I don't think he knew what it did. But that is what we wanted, was for him to ask for her attention. When he's like, Amethyst, play with me. He should be able to just say her name. Very impressive that they can use buttons now to talk. Good girl. Sorry I had to wake you up. It's time for teeth brushing and it's time for dinner. We're gonna have a nice dinner because you didn't have breakfast. You are too not ready. Did you have lunch? I don't even know if you had lunch. So you need to have a big dinner. I think she might have a hairball. She hasn't been able to eat wet food today. She had some dry food. But she usually eats more at night than in the daytime. So I'm not too worried. I think she'll get hungry and she'll eat. Right? Mm-hmm. Usually. Probably. And you had dry food, so you're not starving. Good girl. You can go. All right. Toothbrushing complete. Thank you so much for being here, Belgiumet and Panda. I will see you on Thursday for our PB&J stream of 13 Clues. And I might have an overlay for it, or I might have a Star Trek overlay for it. I don't know yet. We'll see what I get done. I didn't finish this. I didn't really expect to, but I definitely got a lot of progress by streaming this instead of doing a little bit and then getting distracted. I think streaming helps keep me on task. And thank you, Steph, for coming by, and everyone else who came in earlier. Much appreciated. I know I'm a late streamer and inconsistent, but it is what it is. It's what works for me. I think Ambi taught me that starting at 7 works really well because it's hard for me to start early, but it's pointless to start late because then I have to stop really fast when it's like time to wind down and people are going to bed and I'm getting tired and stuff. But 7 is that nice spot that's just right for being able to get some stuff done. Quadrain, thank you for being here. Bye. Let's look for who is around to raid at this hour. I think there's some people. We can find somebody. Let's see. Twitch. Raiding. Monday evening, I will be streaming with Ambi. We're going to play We Were Here Too. And Thursday, I'll be streaming on this channel with Panda Angel and Benita K, doing a PB&J stream of 13 Clues on Board Game Arena. Let me see if I know anyone who's streaming who I would want to raid. All Gold Queen is fun. She's playing Call of Duty Warzone. I Just Love Puzzles is doing a jigsaw puzzle. She's fun. Shayra's doing Borderlands 3. Let's see. Rock is playing Pokemon Legends Arceus. Let's go raid. What am I looking at here? Let's go raid All Gold Queen. She's fun. Please send your love to All Gold Queen. She is very entertaining. Drop lots of emotes in the chat and say hi and have a good time. And I will see you all next time, definitely Monday and possibly tomorrow if I can, because I still have so much work to do on these on these layouts, on these overlays. Stay safe, have a nice night, everyone, and be gentle with yourself. Good night.